Hi, it's July 4th, and I'm going to do an update on the cherries, both the cherry shrubs and the cherry trees I have. Mostly a story of failures from the cherries this year. I had 4 cherry shrubs here, the University of Saskatchewan Romance Series shrub cherries. And I had a Crimson Passion bush here, which is dead now. Juliet bush here, which is doing very well. It's probably at least 7 feet tall. A Romeo here, which is dead, and it was 7 feet tall last year. And Crimson Passion on this side as well too, which is mostly dead. There's one branch at the back that's alive. So these are supposed to be hardy to zone 2 or 3, and winter hardiness shouldn't be an issue. We're in zone 5 here. They should have survived the winter no problem. But this bush is completely dead. The other Crimson Passion is completely dead. It had died back a little bit last year, this Crimson Passion. I had cut off the front branches here. You can see those prune cuts there. It had died last year, but the back branch had survived. So I pruned off the dead stuff and left the live stuff. And now that has died this winter as well. Could be a virus or some other problem, but it just seemed to go into fall okay, and then just never came out of the winter. So I was kind of presuming winter kill. There are a lot of other shrubs suckering coming up. It could be from the Crimson Passion here. If the roots are still alive, it could be sending up suckers. Or it could be from the Juliet here, which is doing really well. I know it sends up, I've followed the root back through this pathway before, and it sends up suckers all over the place. It's known to sucker quite a bit. There's one way over here, which is probably 10 feet from the mother. There's other suckering here underneath the Romeo. Could be Romeo, or it could be suckering coming from the Juliet. That light green growth is different base than the original Romeo base. Same with the Crimson Passion here. All this growth in front is suckering, whereas the darker green stuff at the back, there is actually one branch alive of the Crimson Passion which survived. So I don't know if Juliet's the only one that was hardy for this winter. We did get down to minus 30 Celsius in early January last year. It's a little bit colder than we normally get here. So it could have been some stress, but these are supposed to be quite cold hardy, and that shouldn't have been an issue. Did get a lot of fruits, well, good amount. It probably had more last year. These are probably about 5 or 6 years old. None of the other bushes flowered this year because they were dead. So I guess this is self-fertile. It set lots of fruit here. We've been eating them, but there's still quite a bit of fruit in there. They're good. They're smaller than the sweet cherry that you would see. These ones are getting a bit soft. They might be a little bit too old already, but they taste good. They definitely do have a sour taste to them, but they're good. The pits are fairly small to the size of the fruit, and yeah, they're good. We'll go take a look at the cherry trees. I have 2 sweet cherry trees. A Stella tree here, which I think has suffered through the winter. It's 3rd year now, and it was doing fine last year into dormancy. Now it's leafed out. It had a couple flowers and a couple fruits which have fallen off. The leaves look sickly yellow. I think it's suffered from winter damage on the Stella sweet cherry. The bigger tree I have here is quite big. It's a Van cherry tree. I don't think it's supposed to be any more hardier than the Stella, but it's just a lot more mature. It's probably 9 years old. Cherry trees are fast growing. It's been this size for quite a while. I netted it. It had a lot of fruit set. It didn't seem to suffer any winter damage, probably because it's such a big tree. It had quite a bit of fruit in it, not as much as last year, but quite a bit. It took me a long time to set up that net. And evidently I have left a small opening in the netting here. It's quite small, really what you think a bird would go into. maybe 2 feet wide by 3 feet long, and yeah, we were ready to harvest any day, and came home from work, all the cherries were gone. Every single cherry is gone from the tree. I've seen cedar waxwing birds hanging around, and I'm presuming a large flock got in there and ate every single one over the day. Broke quite a few small branches and leaves off at the bottom there, but yeah, they ate everything. It's kind of hard to do, or hard to put up with, but here we go. I thought netting them would do the trick, but when you leave one small opening, they all got in and they all got out. So that's the way she goes, I guess. I do have 2 other cherry bushes here. Not exactly. I know one's a Cupid and one's a Valentine. I'd have to look at my notes to see which one's which, but these are quite a bit younger than the other ones. They survived the winter no problem. Fruit is just starting to ripen up there. There's a couple cherries in this one. There's supposed to be one of the bigger cherries. I think if this is Cupid. And the other one's quite a bit smaller. It just planted it last year. It's maybe 1.5 feet tall. Anyway, they both seem to survive the winter no problem. And this is starting to put on fruit. Anyways, these are the problems of growing fruit. There's lots of disappointments, and I certainly suffered some with the cherries this year.